I was more embarrassed. I'd dated him that concerned about my physical safety. I can handle myself. I pulled Josh's arm off my shoulder. Call the movie company and cancel. I told Alex, who'd been ignoring us and scrolling through his phone this whole time. You do not need to move here. Don't you have stuff to do in DC? DC is a 20-minute drive, he said without looking up. For the record, I am totally in favor of you moving in next door. Jules piped up, traitor. Do you mow the lawn shirtless? If not, I highly recommended it. Alex and Josh frowned at the same time. Yo, Josh pointed at her. Do not pull any of your shenanigans while I'm gone. It's cute. How you think you have a say in my life? I don't give a shit what you do with your life. It's when you drag Ava into your harebrained schemes I'm concerned. Newsflash, you don't have a say in Ava's life either. She's her own person. She's my sister. She's my best friend. Remember when you almost got her arrested? You have to let that go. That was 3 years ago. People, I pressed my fingers to my temple. Dealing with Josh and Jules was like dealing with children. Stop arguing, Josh, stop trying to control my life. Jules, stop provoking him. Josh crossed his arms over his chest. As your big brother, it's my job to protect you and you to appoint someone to fill in for me when I'm not here. I grew up with him. I recognized that look on his face. He wasn't bugging. I assume Alex is the villain? I asked in a resigned tone. I'm not feeling anything, Alex said easily. Don't do anything stupid and we'll be fine. I groaned and covered my face with my hands. This was going to be a long year. Chapter 4. Ava. 2 days later, Josh was in Central America and Alex was all moved in. I'd watched the movers carry a giant flat-screen TV and boxes of varying sizes into the house next door, and Alex's Aston Martin was now a daily sight. Since stewing over my situation wouldn't do me much good, I decided to make lemonade out of my lemons. The gallery closed on Tuesdays during the summer and I didn't have any shoot scheduled, so I spent the afternoon baking my signature red velvet cookies. I'd just finished packaging them in a cut little basket when I heard the unmistakable roar of Alex's car pulling in the driveway, followed by a door slam. Shit. Okay, I was ready. I was. I whipped my sweaty palms against the side of my fights. I shouldn't be nervous about bringing the men cookies, for pity's sake. Alex had sat at our Thanksgiving table every year for the past 8 years. And for all his money and good looks, he was human. An intimidating one, but a human, not flesh. Plus, he was supposed to look after me and he couldn't find to beat my head off, could he? With the reassurance in mind, I grabbed the basket, my keys and my phone and made my way to his house. Thank God Jules was a her law internship. If I had to hear her talk about how Alex was one more time, I'd scream. Part of me thought she did it to annoy me, but another part worried she was actually interested in him. My best friend hooking up with my brother's best friend would open up a can of worms I had no interest in dealing with. I wrenched the doorbell, trying to still my rampaging heart while I waited for Alex to answer. I wanted to chuck the basket on the front step and run home, but that was the coward's way out, and I was no coward. Most of the time, anyway. A minute passed. I rang the doorbell again. Finally, I heard the faint sound of footsteps, which grew louder until the door swung open and I found myself face to face with Alex. He'd taken off his jacket, but otherwise he still wore his work outfit, with Thomas' pink shirt, Armani pants and shoes, blue Brioni tie. His eyes roved over my hair, my face, has a sun-scorched sand for discernible reason, and my clothes before settling on the basket. His expression remained unreadable the entire time. "They're for you." I shoved the basket toward him. "They're cookies," I added unnecessarily because duh, he had eyes and could see for himself that they were cookies. "It's a welcome to the neighborhood gift." "A welcome to the neighborhood gift," he repeated. "Yep. Since you're new to the neighborhood, I sounded like an idiot. I know you didn't want to be here anymore that I want you here. Crap, that came out wrong. But since we are neighbors, we should call a truce." Alex arched an eyebrow. I wasn't aware a truce was necessary. We're not in a war. "No," but I blew out a frustrated breath. He hated to make this difficult. "I'm trying to be nice, okay? We're stuck with each other for the next year, so I want to make our life easier. Just take the damn cookies. You can eat them, throw them out, feed them to your pet snake Nagini, whatever." His mouth twitched. "Did you just compare me to the Voldemort?" "What? No, maybe. I used the snake as an example. You don't seem like the type who have a furry pet. You're right on the account. But I don't have a snake either." He took the basket off my hands. "Thank you." I blinked again. Did Alek Volkov thank me? I'd expected him to take the cookies and shut the door in my face. Had never thanked me for anything in my life. Except maybe the one time I passed him the mashed potatoes at dinner, but I'd be drunk, so my recollection was hazy. I was still frozen in shock when he added, "Do you want to come in?" This was a dream. It had to be, because the chances of Alex inviting me inside his house in real life were lower than me solving a quadratic equation in my head. I pinched myself. Oh, okay, not a dream. Just an incredibly surreal encounter. I wondered if aliens had been abducted the real Alex on his way home and replaced it with Hugh Nasser, more civil imposter. Sure, I managed because hell, I was serious. I'd never been inside Alex's home before, and I was circus to see what he'd done with Josh's place. He'd moved in 2 days ago, so I expected to see stray boxes laying about, but everything was so polished and put together it looked like he'd been living here for years. A sleek grey couch and 80-inch flat-screen TV dominated the living room, accented with a low, white, lacquered coffee table, industrial cheek lamps and Josh's abstract painting. I glimpsed an espresso machine in the kitchen and a glass-topped table with the white cushioned chairs in the dining room, but otherwise there wasn't much furniture to speak of. It was a drastic difference from Josh's messy but cozy collection of random books, sports equipment and items he'd collected from his travels. "You're a minimalist, huh?" I examined a strange metal sculpture that looked like an exploding brain but probably cost more than my monthly rent. "I don't see a point in the collecting items. I don't use and I don't enjoy." Alex placed the cookies on the coffee table and walked to the bar cart in the corner. "Drink?" "No thanks." I sat on the couch, unsure of what to do or say. He poured himself a glass of whiskey and sat opposite me, but it wasn't fair enough. I caught a whiff of his cologne, something woodsy and expensive smelling, with a hint of his spice. It was delicious. I wanted to bury my face in his neck, but I didn't think he'd take too kindly to that. "Relax," he said dryly. "I don't bite." "I'm relaxed." "Your knuckles are white." I glanced down and I realized I was clutching the edge of the couch so tightly my knuckles were indeed white.